Okay, there is one more thing we need to do for the add category.php page. As you now see, when we try to add uncategorized again, it does not actually get re-added to the categories table. However, we're not getting some sort of message. So we're going to go inside add category.php, and here we are going to say, PHP if is set. Let's put that on a separate line. If is set error, so if there is actually an error, then we're going to echo b error, and then we're going to close that, and that's it. So we can go here, and when we add uncategorized again, we get that category already exists. If we make it more than 24 characters, category names can only be up to 24 characters, and when we submit an empty field, we see that that also works. Okay, now we can move on to the category list. This will simply list all the categories in, well, the order doesn't matter, so we're not going to order it, but basically what we're going to do here is, inside here, we're going to open up new PHP block, and we're going to say for each get categories as category. So again, we have not made this get categories function yet, so we're going to do that now. So here we just need all the categories. We don't need to retrieve any specific categories. So what we're going to do here is we're going to start very basic, and I'm going to say categories equals array. So we're going to store the category data in an array, and we'll just do MySQL query select ID and name from the categories table. Oops, there we go. Then we do while row equals MySQL fetch assoc query categories, and then we're going to add another element to it, and that will be the same as row. Basically what this does is it makes categories, which is an array, and we store a category in it, and that has an ID as well as a name. If we would have another one, say test, that would have an ID of 2 and test, and then we can simply loop over this and easily display the data. Of course, we also need to return categories. So that's fine for now. Let's see if this works. So I'm just going to echo category name with a break again, just to see if it works. I'm going back to the index. Oh, of course I emptied the index, so that's not going to work. I'm going to category list.php undefined function. Oh, here we go again. Of course I need to include init.php. Now refresh, and we see uncategorized. So let's add another category, say PHP, And now when we go to the category list, we get both of them. Good. Now of course this needs to be a bit more expanded on. Again, my English is good enough but not top notch, so I don't know exactly how to say some things. I just hope you understand. Anyway, we are going to provide a link to the category. So we're just going to put every category in its own paragraph, just to make it a bit easier to look at. I'm going to say aref equals, I'm just going to do category.php id equals, and then we echo category id, and in here we will echo PHP echo category name. And now when we view this, we get them as links, and here we see the ID equals 1 and here it's 2. Now for every category we also want to be able to delete it, so we're going to add that behind it. aref equals, I'm immediately going to close it again. We're going to say delete category.php id equals, and then once again echo category id, and in here we're just going to say delete. Refresh it, and there we have the delete links. So that's the next thing we're going to do. We're going to delete category.php, and in it we're going to, as usual, include init.php. Now we're going to check if the ID was actually set. So in other words, if a category is specified. Now this could be expanded upon a lot, but this gives you basically how it should work. And if no ID was specified in the URL, that's what get does, we're going to redirect the user to index.php and we'll kill the script. Now otherwise we're going to delete something, and then once again we'll redirect to index.php. So delete, a new function. It takes two parameters, field, of course, since we're using it in a query, MySQL real escape string field, and for the ID, since it's supposed to be an integer, we can just cast it to an integer. And then we use the delete syntax, so we'll say delete from, and here we say field should be table, just making it a bit more semantic. Table, select or delete from table. So here we're using a sort of more dynamic query. People often seem to forget that this is also possible. It's very useful. So delete from table where ID equals ID, and that finishes that up. And now of course we need to say here delete from categories where ID equals get ID. So let's add another test category, so test, and we'll go to category list.php, and now let's redirect to category list.php. Now when I hit delete here, oh, still redirects to index, doesn't matter. We'll look at that later. Category list.php, and we see it's still there. Once again, I made a mistake. That's good. It shows you debugging, but I passed the 10-minute mark, so I'm gonna stop it here, and in the next video we're going to sort this out. So bye.